So is it possible to make $150,000 in the next year with your message? Whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach? That was a question that I was asked, and today we're going to tackle that. So with that, let's get started. Hey Messenger, welcome to the Market Your Message Show. I'm Jonathan Milligan, author of the book, Your Message Matters, and our goal here is to help you rise above the noise and get paid for what you know. Now in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to earn $150,000 in the next year with your message. Is that possible? How complicated is it? And how do you actually do that? That's what we're going to tackle today. In fact, on this episode, you're going to discover the only 3 ways to grow a business. And yes, there are only 3 ways. We're going to talk about what the subscription economy is and why you need to join it. We're also going to talk about how to make $150,000 in a year with less than 150 customers. And we're going to get right into the math and much, much more. But first, if you're like Jonathan, I don't even know where to get started. Like, I want to write a book, I want to speak, or I want to create courses online, I want to blog, podcast, but I just get overwhelmed with where to start. Here's where you start. You go to marketyourmessage.com/discover, and we've put together a jumpstart guide. It's a 9-page guide that'll walk you through and help you answer your purpose, your people, and your passion. And when you're done, you will have answered the 3 fundamental questions that you need to answer to start a message-based business, whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach. Let's start things off today with a story. So it all started with a Sunday school class. Dan Miller wasn't looking to become a coach, a speaker, or a writer. He was already a successful entrepreneur who owned multiple businesses, but he saw a need to help people in his church that were in career transition. So each Sunday morning, I should say, he taught others how to find more meaningful work. Now, this was a fairly cutting edge approach to the traditional Sunday school model. But before too long, people from other churches and even other cities began to attend Dan's weekly session. So in an effort to accommodate more people, Dan eventually turned it into a free Monday night seminar, which he actually ran for over 8 years. And interestingly, the more questions people asked in his class, the more products Dan actually began creating. He compiled his teaching into a 3-ring binder that could be purchased even by people who didn't attend his weekly sessions. In fact, out of curiosity, Dan built a website and began to post some of his products for sale online. And to his surprise, they began to sell. And that's when Dan Miller discovered he had a gold mine. He asked himself, how many different ways can I repurpose this message into products and services? Well, it turned out that his answer was a lot. Over the next few years, Dan expanded on his core message and launched a number of products, including but not limited to the following: 48 Days to the Work You Love book, which actually became a New York Times bestseller. He also created 48 Days to the Work You Love workbook, the 48 Days to the Work You Love online seminar, 48 Days Mastery Coaching Certification, the 48 Days Mastermind that you paid to be a part of, the 48 Days Personal Coaching, the 48 Days Eagles, which is his monthly membership site, and even the 48 Days Yearly Cruise. Here's what's interesting. What started out as a Sunday school class has grown into a message-based business with multiple income streams. That's the power of constructing many products and services out of one message. Now, you might be thinking, that's awesome, but how could I do something like that for myself? So what I want to do today is I actually want to get really practical. In my new book, Your Message Matters, I go more in depth on this topic, but let me share the strategy with you right now. I want you to have a concrete plan for how to grow your business over the next 12 months. So to begin, it's important for you to understand that there are 3 ways to grow a business. So let's go over through each of these 3, and then we'll kind of dive in a little bit more in depth. So number 1 is to activate. And that's when you expand your customer base with a low-end product. Now, ideally, I think this should be something under $50. In fact, a book can be a great strategy for something like this, but it could also be a small online course as well. Number 2, so once you activate, and by the way, the goal of this activation is that we expand our customer base, right? So more people will buy a book than they will pay $5,000 to coach. So activate helps you to turn prospects into customers. That's the number one way, the first way that you can grow a business. Let's talk about number 2. There's subscribe. So subscribe is the second way that you grow a business. Now this is when you sustain your business with recurring revenue. And typically this could be anything between $30 a month up to $1,000 a month. It could be more, depending on what type of product or service you offer. We'll get into some details in just a minute, but just know that your customer buys your thing once and then gets billed over and over again for product or service that you deliver for them. And then number 3 is monetize. This is where you actually grow your profits. So if activate turns your prospects into customers, subscribe will actually sustain your business by giving it regular monthly revenue. Then where do you actually grow the profits? Where do the profits come from in your business? Right here is when you want to have higher ticket offers, typically something between $1,000 to $5,000 or more. So now in order to kind of dive into this, let's kind of jump into each one. So I want to start with activate. So first, you need a low-end offer to help expand your customer base. And ideally, this could be a digital product that's often easier than actually creating a book. Book does take time, does take effort. But ideally, I like a simple online course, something less than 10 videos that teaches something that allows someone to purchase it for less than $50. And again, the goal of the activation is to convert a prospect on your list to a buyer. So the goal of the sale is not necessarily profit, but expansion of your customer base. You see, when someone purchases something from you, the relationship fundamentally changes. That's why like something as simple as a book, like when I bought a book and if it was a good book, like my relationship changed. Suddenly I wanted to follow that person. I wanted to learn from that person, right? The relationship changed. Another way to put it would be they moved from being a fan to a follower. Now, a lower priced product is the logical first step in this shift. So examples of products that can activate your prospects into active and action include books, audiobooks, mini online courses, flash sales, or even single coaching sessions. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 then is subscribe. So again, how do we do the subscribe thing? How does it actually work? Well, nothing will sustain your business and message like recurring revenue. To make it even easier, we're now living in the subscription economy. Did you know more and more people prefer to purchase products and services on a monthly recurring basis? In fact, building a subscription model into your business is one of the smartest moves you can make. And let me give you a quick example. So most of us know that back in March of 2020 is when the COVID-19 crisis really hit America. And during that time, for a lot of businesses, they had to shut their doors overnight. Like their business model was completely disrupted. Well, our business was fortunate to be able to survive during that time because honestly, there was a period of about 4 to 6 weeks where I just didn't feel right trying to sell anything, whether that was through a Facebook ad or through an email list. Well, what sustained our business? Well, what sustained us is that we have a membership site and we have other recurring revenue streams that already cover the expenses of our business. So we were able to make it through one of those episodes. See, the beautiful thing is you sell once and you get paid over and over again. Now, like I said, I've been the owner of a membership site for over 8 years, and I still have paying customers who signed up with me from my initial launch all those many years ago. The point is, if you serve people well, they'll stick around. They begin to see you as their long-term mentor who can help them to get where they want to go. Now, others examples of recurring revenue would be like software, recurring affiliate programs, if you know anything about affiliate income, monthly coaching services, and any other monthly service that you provide. Adding a subscription model to your message-based business will go a long way to help you maintain your monthly cash flow. And that leads me to number 3, monetize. Grow your profits with higher ticket offers. So your first step, the low end offer, and that has turned a lead into a customer. The second step is the subscription offer, and that's giving your business recurring operating capital so that you can sustain yourself, pay your potential employees, or pay your own salary. Now, the high-end offer will bring profit into your business. One of my mentors once told me, Jonathan, there will always be a percentage of your audience who will buy something more from you if you had it available. Now, you may only convert 1 to even 5% of your audience on your higher end products, but having a product or service that you can sell in this higher price range that we're talking about is absolutely essential to growing your business. Now, the price point of a high-end offer varies widely from industry to industry, but for the sake of keeping it simple, let's label anything that's above $1,000 investment as a high-end offer. So the question is, do you have a product or service that you could sell for $1,000 or more? If not, you really should think about creating one. Offering a product or service in the thousands of dollars might be difficult for you to imagine. I get that. In fact, I was there too. I remember when I first started out, my first high-end offer back in 2009 was 30 days of career coaching for $1,200. And even at the time, I often wondered if anyone would ever pay that. But to my surprise, people did. Not only that, but it wasn't long before I realized I was actually undercharging what I was worth compared to what other coaches were charging. But the important thing is to just start somewhere. So in addition to one-to-one coaching, a few other examples of high-end products include giving keynote talks, coaching groups, or even starting a 1-year paid mastermind. So how do you like those? Do you like those 3? Again, let's do a quick recap. Activate, subscribe, and monetize. But I don't want to just leave you with, this theory. How does the math actually work, right? That might be what you're wondering. So what I want to do today is I want to end on actually looking at the math. How could we, with our writing, our teaching, our speaking, our coaching, actually create $150,000 in revenue with less than 150 customers? Well, let's look at this. So first of all, activate. So if you remember activate, we are trying to sell a low dollar course. Now, if you sold just 3 courses per day at $50 each, you will earn $4,200 a month or $50,000 a year. Now, stop. This right here may be enough right here for most of you to just say bye to the day job and do your passion for a living. That's great. But think about that. We're talking about 3 courses per day. And sure, some days you may sell 5 courses, some days you may sell 1. It fluctuates for sure. But look at that, 3 courses per day at something less than $50 can generate $50,000 a year. Well, let's talk about subscribe. If you were able to enroll just 150 people, so over the course of a year, 150 people enroll in your $30 per month membership site, you will earn $4,500 a month or $54,000 a year. And that's an example of subscribe. Now let's look at one more, monetize. If you enroll just 10 people into your high ticket mastermind group, and let's price it at $5,000, that will earn you $50,000 a year. So if we took these 3 products, this is only offering 3 things for sale to your audience, and we put those together, that would equal $154,400 per year. Now, this was on 150 customers. 150 customers. That's it. That's the most that you would need to attract using this simple formula. Now, the math is simple. The strategy is simple. I'm not suggesting that it's easy. It's like any other business. You have to put forth the work, the time, the effort, and the energy towards it. There is no easy push button software. As you know, here at Market Your Message, we're not about hype. We're just about the facts. You have to work it, and you have to be willing to put in the time, energy, and effort. But I want you to know it's possible. Do you feel like it's possible? I just showed you how something like this can happen. Now, some of you might be thinking, Jonathan, I did half of that. That's all I need. Then that could be a great place to start for sure. The point that I want to make is using just 3 income strategies. By the way, we cover 12 in the book, Your Message Matters. 12 different income strategies that are across every industry, whether you want to write, teach, speak, or coach. But using just 3 today, we have found a way to generate $154,400. So what do you think about that? How could your life be different over the next year if you were able to implement a plan like this? Maybe you only need to be 50% successful or 25% successful to really make a difference in your life. Now, if you're saying, Jonathan, I don't even know where to start, again, the place to start is this 9-page guide we've put together called the Discover Your Message Blueprint. Just go to marketyourmessage.com/discover. Well, did you enjoy this episode? If so, let us know. In fact, would you take a moment and like, share, or subscribe, or even review our show? And also, what topics would you like for me to cover in future episodes? Let me know. But until then, never forget, your message matters. Take care.